Speeding down the track, feel the engine roar, pushing to the max, always wanting more. In the digital zone, where the speed is real, Newman Racing, you can feel the thrill. Newman Racing, taking you to first place. With the need for speed, you will win the race. Profiles to the sky, virtual kings and queens, chasing every dream in those racing machines. On the grid we stand with the crowds cheer, nowhere but the podium and dreams so clear. Newman Racing, taking you to first place. With the need for speed, you will win the race. Grid we stand with the crowds cheer, nowhere but the podium and dreams so clear. Newman Racing, taking you to first place. With the need for speed, you will win the race.
Yo, good morning. Welcome to a slightly brighter Wednesday morning in England. The sun is kind of shining, bit chilly, but we move. We're here. Impromptu live stream today because didn't fully intend on being here. However, we've been doing a little bit of filming work in the studio over the last couple of days, and I have some filming work to do this morning. So I'm already sat at my desk and stuff is already plugged in to do its thing. There is a camera here, which I will bring in shot in a moment. And we have some filming to do for the Murico Raiden X. So, I figured while we're filming and looking at that wheel that some of you here might like to see it, given it is unreleased and not yet available. And sometimes you like to see kind of the behind the scenes, what we're doing here at DNR and how we're doing it. So I thought you might find it interesting just to watch us film a showreel. So that's what we're going to do. So yesterday we published a teaser video for the VPG Porsche 992 Cup wheel. You may or you may not have seen that already. So we're going to film a similar style video this morning, and yeah, you're going to come along and you're going to join us for the filming. So let's start off, shall we? And let's get the wheel, and then we can look at chat. Right, wheels here. So it's already mounted on a stand. Let's get it on camera so you can see it. Not very easy to see, is it? Not on this camera anyway. This is the Murico Raiden X anyway. Let me take it off the stand and then you probably can see it better. La 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 la. This is going to be difficult with one hand. So let's do it like this. And let's take the cable out, which is a quick release cable. Or torso. And then let's move that to one side. So here you go. Murico Raiden X. It is a carbon fiber wheel, which you can see hopefully from the back. Now this is not a macro lens, obviously, that we're filming on in front of us, so it's hard for you to zoom in and see the details. What you can see is titanium shifters. So these are silver in colour. The wheel is black, and these do stand out because they are titanium in titanium colour, natural titanium colour, albeit they're polished on the edges. As I said, carbon fibre, 6 paddles, so you've got some analog paddles here. You can use as anything really. It could be shifters if you want. There could be buttons, whatever. You know, you could have like a headlight flash mapped to one, whatever. Shifters, quite loud. I'll be honest, they are quite loud, but nonetheless, there's no mistake that you've activated them. Clutch paddles, relatively nice feeling clutch pedals. They're not too hard, they're not too soft, they're just kind of in the middle. What I like about this wheel, and this will be difficult until you've seen the teaser video because I can't zoom in to show you this, is there are a number of different screws across the front of the wheel and the back, and these are all Murico branded. So I'll do my very best to kind of zoom into that in the Showreel and show you that, but it's nice that the small touches of the wheel show kind of details like that. So yeah, I quite like that. See, we've got some rotaries as well. So there's 5 of those. They're not too stiff. Again, I'll be honest, they are somewhat soft, the clicks of the rotaries, but you know, nice all the same. Thumb wheels. Again, it's going to be difficult for you to pick this up because I can't zoom in on this streaming camera, but these are also branded thumb wheels. There is a nice M logo etched into the side. So there's kind of lots of really nice details about this wheel. You can tell they've thought about it, is kind of where I'm going with this. The grips as an example. The grips are kind of I wouldn't call them a soft rubber, but they're certainly not hard. And then at the top of the grip, there's like a plastic inset. So right where your thumb, or your finger rather, would go, your index finger here and here this side, there is this sort of plastic section. It goes from when my finger is here to here, and then the rest of the grip is soft. So when you're holding it, your hand is all kind of in the soft area, but your finger here is on some firm plastic. So that's kind of nice because I'm guessing they presume that's an area that the grip could wear out, and therefore they've protected it by giving you some harder plastic. Buttons. Let's come back around. There are 12 of those, 6 each side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 12 of those. They are quite firm pressing buttons as well, which I do quite like. So yeah, nice wheel. Lots of thought and effort, I think, has gone into the build of this. It's not just another wheel, albeit the shape is what I would consider familiar. However, then you could also argue how many ways can you build a steering wheel and how many ways can you redesign the shape, because ultimately a steering wheel is a steering wheel, and in probably 99.9% of cars on the road they are round, and in a racing wheel or a Formula style wheel like this one, they tend to be this kind of shape. So yeah, that is this is rather the Murico Raiden X. Nice steering wheel. Let's look at chat and then let's do some filming. Who have we got here this morning? Good morning, Iceman. Icon City. Don't worry about being sidetracked, buddy. Just shoot me when you can. Morning, Jeff in Germany. Ray has got his order in. And Icon City is looking forward to his GSI FPV2 this week. don't get buyer's remorse on that wheel because it's a fantastic wheel. We've got one here actually that we're looking to rehome, a brand new one, and it's a really, really lovely wheel. So don't get buyer's remorse on the GSI because yeah, it's a lovely wheel and you really can't go wrong. So I certainly wouldn't be upset if I had one arriving at my doorstep this week. Yeah, okay. Let's do some filming, shall we? So I'll do my very best to make sure that the audio continues whilst we're doing this. I'll try and talk to you a little bit. But what we're going to do is we're going to get the camera out. We're going to film this. So anybody watching this now will see the process of that filming, and then when the video drops, of course, you will see exactly what we filmed. So I'm going to take off my headphones, which means so I can move freely while I do this. So if something goes awry with the sound or, you know, whatever, chat is here. You can tell me and I will do my best to address that. But let's get going. Let's film a video live here on YouTube. If we move the microphone over here, you will hear it a little better. So hopefully, at least. Filming today on, let's come a bit closer. Filming today on a Sony A7 IV full frame camera. If you watched our video yesterday of the Porsche Cup, we did the same thing. So just setting the tripod up to level it, because we want the wheel in the centre of the shot, obviously. Okay, good to go. And then, are we a bit high? Maybe we're a little bit high there. That's better. Yeah, so we'll have to address the lighting in here actually a little bit as we do this, because I think it could be difficult if we have it too bright. Okay, so let's start off, shall we, with a shot like this. So we're going to start off with what we call a focus pull. So focus pull is where the shot is either out of focus, into focus, or into focus, out of focus. So yeah, that's how we're going to start it. We are going to do a focus pull. I think we're going to have to adjust the lighting a little bit, obviously, to do this filming. So it might go awry on the lighting on the stream. If it does, we'll come back, don't panic. But I'm just going to attempt some sort of different lighting scenarios just to see if we can nicely illuminate, because currently I've got, you can probably see in the background of this video, there is some kind of red light and there is some blue light and all that kind of stuff. And that's reflecting right into the screen of the Murico, which is obviously not ideal. Okay, so into the darkness, that's better. You can just about still see me. So what we're going to do is we need to make sure that obviously Murico is in shots. We want to make sure that we have got enough light. So we're going to set the f-stop of the camera right the way down. Let's just lock there. So I just want to get a vantage point really that makes the focus pull look quite pleasing. And then we will make sure that we're in focus. There's quite a lot of, let's put it into manual focus as well. There's quite a lot of intricacy involved in doing something like this. So a video that takes, that you can watch for 2 minutes could actually take, you know, somewhere in the region of 3-4 days to film. So yeah, it's not as straightforward as you may think. Okay. What we're also going to do, I think, is we need to turn off the screens because they're in the background. So, where is the button? 1. Two. Okay. Okay, so shot number 1. Ooh. Let's purge the memory card as well, actually, shall we? So that we know we are clean. Can you hear me okay? How is the audio? Are you still here? Are you with me? Are you with me? Are you with me? So just getting it in focus. Okay, happy with that. So shot number 1, we are going to go for a focus pull. So let's go from in focus to out of focus. And then we're going to go from out of focus to in focus. So we'll do that again just to make sure we got the shot. Simply lovely, as Max would say. See if we can get a bit closer. Not using a macro lens, which may make this... No, I thought it would make it difficult, but we have got enough bite on this that we can do that. So, let's try that again. Oh, that's beautiful. That's the shot, that. That is the shot. Morning, Mark, and morning, Tony, in the house. If you're just joining, we are filming live this morning a showreel for the Murico Raiden X. So you've joined us to watch the filming of that. I get quite a lot of questions and feedback to say that it's interesting for people to watch. Watch us film stuff like this. So or to work live. So that's what we're doing this morning. We're working live. So focus pull, and we're focus pulling right now on the Murico logo on the front of the wheel. So we'll either open probably or close the video with that clip. So let's go again. We went a bit too far, so we'll go back. We'll just repeat that. Okay, and then we'll go the other way, so we'll go from in focus to out of focus to make sure we've got that shot too. Lovely. Okay. One of the shots I really liked yesterday of the Porsche was the panning across the top of the wheel. So I think what we're going to attempt to do next is that shot. So let's bite right the way in. Let's focus so we can actually see the wheel. Okay, that's going to be lovely. Simply lovely. Let's just bite up a little bit so we don't miss. Maybe we're going to have to come out of that a tad. just so we don't clip the wheel. And what we want to do is be dead center. We want to make sure that the camera is picking up Murico dead center. Let's bite up a little bit. Okay, so happy with that. Again, what we want to do, or make sure we do, is don't get the lights in the background. And if I film it where I am now, the key lights are going to be in shot. So let's have a little rearrange. We also don't want a keyboard in the background, so let's tuck that away. And then our Beveragino cup. Chicane podcast. We'll move that too. So let's move the wheel, or let's shuffle the wheel along a little bit. And then let's move our camera and our mic so you can hear us. Let's try that again. Guessing you guys are bored this morning because there's not many of you watching now. You've seen what we're doing and gone, nah, not interested in that. Don't want to watch the dude film. And you've left us. Not your cup of tea. Let's bite back in and make sure that we're in focus. Like I said, it can take a long time to film one of these. There's an awful lot of tweaking and getting it right. But hopefully, when the finished product comes out, you guys can say, I watched him film that. So, we have to try now and pan nice and slowly. That was lovely. So we'll try it again and we'll try and do it even slower just in case we need a clip that's not quite as sped through. So what we'll try to do normally is when we get a particular shot, the last thing you want to do is take your shot and then recompose the scene and find out that the shot you've just taken is no good. So ideally, when you take each shot, you want to take each shot multiple times, and that means if there's something wrong with the first take or the second take or whatever it might be, generally speaking, you've got several instances where that shot has then been corrected. So we'll go again. It's really hard to pan a camera and pan it at the same speed all the way through. Okay. Okay, so let's light her up, shall we? Let's get it plugged in. Let's get SimHub fired up and let's get some colour going. This is where we find out that I have I've got the wrong SimHub installed or something, and I can't colour it in. Okay. So usually when we look at pre-release, let's come back a bit now. When we look at pre-release versions of a wheel, we have a SimHub wheel. We have a SimHub beta version that allows the wheel to run. So we just need to make sure that the software that we're running now allows us to do that, because it'd be nice to get some light shots. So SimHub open, and of course I don't believe this is a device in SimHub just yet. Oh, it is. Hallelujah. Okay, so let's just load our DNR profile. Obviously we wouldn't want it videoed with anything but. Okay, cool. Now we need to tell it to be seen, and it's currently not, which is not very helpful. There we go. So the problem we have right this second is we are on a Mac, not Windows, which means we're using SimHub on a Mac, not in Windows. So we're running this through Parallels, which does create a few more headaches. However, currently working. DNR plugin says the Murico is connected. Let's set some hotkeys to cycle through themes, shall we? So what we're going to do is we're going to go with this one for previous, and then we're going to go with this one for next. Oh, why doesn't it like that one? I think actually what we're going to do is use the universal theme, and then we can change the idle at the same time. So let's turn universal on, and then let's set the keyboard actually, and then we're not going to clunk away as we do it. Okay. Beautiful. beautiful. So let's show you on camera. So we've got the Murico plugged in. Like I said, it's going to be difficult to pick it up on the lights just because we're filming in the studio. We're not here to do this. So let's bang out of this. Where are we? Ah, it doesn't like it, does it, if we're in OBS and we're tapping through colours. So DNR themes, obviously there's 16 of them. You all know those themes by now. And then there's a 17th custom, which won't operate currently because we are in Universal. Love the golf theme. Everybody loves the golf theme. It's good, isn't it? And then back to obviously the well-known DNR. So let's do the DNR theme for now. So back in the center of the desk. And this time we want to make sure that we don't overexpose those LEDs. We want to be able to see in the final piece of footage how they look. So this time we're going to do a little bit of rotary pushing. So let's set her up so that we can see a rotary. Okay. Lovely. Obviously what we don't want to do is watch this with my hands playing. So let's find some gloves. I say find, the room is dark, I can't see. So down here, found them. Here's my little handbag. I've showed you the blank side. Ta-da! Moradness. Let's pick some beautiful Moradness gloves to film this video with. So, what colourway shall we choose? I love these. Love these. But think they might detract a little bit. So we'll try and use something a little bit more muted. Is this a matching pair? No, that is Bubbles. Let's just start dumping on the floor because we've got way too many gloves in here. Way too many gloves. How about Bubbles? What do we think to Bubbles? Shall we Murico with some bubbles on? Let's do it, shall we? And then we need to work out which hand we're going to turn the rotary with. So it sounds a bit odd, doesn't it, to argue with yourself about which hand you're using. But we want it to look like we're sat in the rig and we're driving with the wheel. So it's important that we use the right hand, and you wouldn't use your left hand, probably, so you get the gist. Okay. So we are going to, he says, turn. Yeah, okay. So I'm going to record, I'm going to move myself around the corner, and then we're going to do some rotary turns. Hopefully that looks good on shot. So, difficult with a glove on. Okay, we're rolling. I've got fat fingers, so I knocked the switch twice. So we have to redo that now. And then we'll do another one where we just come in, turn it and let go. Okay. I'm going to watch that back just to make sure that I got what I wanted to get before I recompose that scene. Okay, so this is the importance of watching back your footage. I didn't like that because my hand covered up too much of the wheel. So we need to come up rather than across. So, let's try that again. I'm going to suspect same problem, and then we're going to have to elevate the wheel. Okay, now that was fine. So we'll do it with one turn of the rotary, and then we'll call that shot comfortably done. Magic. Okay. We recompose. Chat. Tony says sim racing people like to lurk and watch. Yeah. Guitar Tube, ordered mine. First high-end wheel like this with the screen, rev lights and all that. Keep hearing about your profiles. I don't know how to do any of it yet, but I have SimHub, excited to learn. I'm glad that you've heard about our profiles and that you're keen to try them. Our Discord is a fantastic place to learn and to do. So if you haven't yet, join our Discord, because there are so many wonderful, wonderful people there that will help you with all aspects of Daniel Newman Racing profiles. So definitely join, because you'll be well looked after. And if you do get stuck, we've got instruction manuals written down. We've got tutorial videos. There's the DNR staff in the Discord who can help you, or like I said, lots of really lovely members who will also get stuck into. So you can definitely jump in there for help if you need it. So now, how should we frame our next? Okay. I think what we're going to do is we're going to go for a bit of a lower vantage point in this one. We don't want every video to look the same, do we? We want it to, we want each video to have its own styling. So that's an easy shot here. We've kind of got a lower angle looking up at the wheel, and we will just film the animation. And we'll do that in a variety of different themes. Which of course we need to do with SimHub Open, not OBS. Okay, happy with that as well. Let's head back to OBS. In fact, let's not head back to OBS. Let's change our theme. Let's go with that for now. Or have we just confused it? Let's go with that. So we need a new angle now. Part of the problem with filming stuff like this is not just doing the filming, it's the inspiration for each shot of, we've got this shot, now what do we do next? And like I said, you don't want every video to be identical. You don't want every show reel to look the same with the same content and the same styling. So trying to vary it up so that each time it looks a bit different is something I think is quite tricky, particularly given I'm not a professional videographer. So we'll just play around with some camera angles until we find some things that we like. We've got a low down shot, so why don't we jump up now and do a shot that is maybe a bit higher. So if we maybe we can go all the way up. Let's try that. So let's lose the chair. Not entirely sure what we're going to do with this one, but move you for a minute. So let's do another focus pull this time, and let's do it based on the screen. Can we still hear me? Okay. Let's do another focus pull this time. Put some headphones on to make sure you can hear me. He says they're a bit tight. Okay, so we're going to do a focus pull, and we're going to focus pull on the screen of the wheel. I know you can't see it, with the lights around it. So without jogging the tripod, that's pretty easy. That was a good one. Let's watch that back. Lovely. Lovely, lovely, lovely. We're going to go back to the floor now. Say the floor. Now let's jump up a little bit actually. Because we've got another idea. So let's come out a little bit. Oh. Okay. And what we're doing here is we're going to focus on the grips. But let's jump to a different theme because we don't want them all to look the same. That one will do lovely. Can hear notifications pinging off, so let's just make sure we haven't missed anything whilst we're here. So let's go with this. Do we want to go any higher? That is the question. Let's try it, shall we? Let's just try from nothing. Here we go. And then the other way. Lovely. Okay, let's lock that in. Okay. Let's try and pick up if we can the detail of the thumb encoder. Okay. So we want the M to be about there. Let's just zoom in here because we don't want to mess this one up. So I think we just need to pop back a fraction. Are we all the way in? Yes, we are. So we need a glove again. This time, let's try it with these. Let's try this. It's a bit leery, but it's quite fun. Okay, so what we don't want, obviously, is our hand to block the light and the camera. We'll go with that. Okay. So before we get too carried away, let's look at some footage. Because the last thing we want to do, move you back, is do too much and then find out something is awash with the footage. So let's do that, and let's turn the screens back on. So we edit footage in Final Cut Pro, for anybody that was remotely curious. So let's delete. And then let's import some media. Lots of footage here, look. Okay. So you may hear me talking in the background of these videos, and that is because we had the mic turned on, so we can turn that off in post. I'm curious enough if you can hear that. Tell me if you can. Hear me going. And right, detach the audio, delete. So we're just going to add a little bit of a color correction and a LUT profile, just to make it look as it should. There we go. Okay, so our focus pull of the screen was okay. Or excuse me, it wasn't the screen, it was the logo, the Murico logo. So let's just bite that a little bit. Okay, happy with that? Bish bosh bang. And now we've got our pan. So we'll detach that and pick and pick. We can do that, Tony. Good idea. Good idea. Here you go. Picture in picture. So what we're doing now is we'll look at the shot and then we'll blade it a little bit. So what we don't want to do is blade bits too early or too late. Okay. So I'm going to blade that back there. What we need to do is choose an audio track, and we try to time the segments to the audio. So what we don't want to do here is basically take away too much meat and then be left in a position where we can't time it to the music. So having too much clip is good, because it then means we can trim it to fit the music as we need. Wheels having a fit in the background here. Not really sure what's going on. Yeah, I'm going to take shiny shots to the paddles, Tony. But what I wanted to do before I did that was make sure that the footage we've already got is okay. Because if I've spent an hour taking footage, the last thing I want is to find out it's useless, and we've got to start again. Let's detach that audio as well. While we're here, we didn't apply our color adjustment and our LUT. So we're just going to do that, and we're going to put our neutral LUT in We probably need to apply a color effect, which we will adjust after the footage, but for now we will just automate it, just so I can see it on film. So let's watch that back. This is Final Cut Pro, Tony. Okay, so that we're into the next clip, which we haven't touched yet. So before we touch it, let's throw our LUT and color adjustment on it, just so that we edit in it as we need to. Okay. Oh, we're gonna have to edit this one in a minute, a bit more probably, because not too keen on the color. And these LUTs are meant to make my life easier, but they're not necessarily here. So let's pick. What we don't want is the camera wobble. So where I've moved at the start of the video, so we probably can cut this one here. Again, what we don't want to do is cut too much meat off the bone. There's a little camera shake there, so we'll cut that about there. And then we'll bin off this segment. And then we'll get ready to cut again. And then again, we'll just cut there. And then we come back in. And then we come back in again. So we'll cut before that cuts back in. And then we'll just cut off the shake at the end. So some of that clip's probably usable. We'll cover that in a minute. This, I believe, was just the idle animation. So again, let's throw a LUT on this. A LUT as well, just to explain, for anybody thinking, what's he talking about? Yeah, we need to expose this a lot more, don't we? Not like that though, so we're gonna have to do this afterwards. What we do is we film in a mode called log. Now, filming in log basically means that all of the data from the film comes out with the footage, so all of the raw data that we use comes with it. There's lots and lots of raw data. If we just filmed it in MPEG-4 or movie or whatever the format was, we would lose tremendous amounts of information. And that means that when we get into post, which is where we are now, post-processing, the editing stage, we wouldn't be able to make lots of changes to the footage. Let's move this microphone. We wouldn't be able to make lots of changes to the footage. We would be quite limited on what's possible and what's not. So filming in log means that we can make those edits, but we have to expose the footage correctly in the first place. Okay. So I think that clip particularly is going to need a little bit of enhancement because I don't like the colour, particularly giving that a lot of warmth. Yeah. So we'll edit that, I think, afterwards, because that one could take a little bit of time. Let's try this as well. Presume it'll be the same. Let's just get rid of the audio here. So I think these were basically the same thing. Reorder that. I don't understand why it feels it wants to underexpose, but nonetheless. Hideous. Why? Again, we'll come back to it. We're just looking for a shot. And I think in hindsight, I would have preferred that to have been slightly more zoomed out. So we might reshoot that one. Okay, let's go with this focus pull. And let's also color adjust and LUT. Okay, that's helpful. Or not. Let's do this clip instead. Color adjustment and LUT. Enhance color. Neutral. Now let's try. Okay, so part of that clip we'll be able to use. Not sure what this next clip is, can't remember. Apparently nothing. This one appears to be a scroll. I've just put those in the wrong order, so let's fix that. Okay. And detach the audio because we don't hear it either. Again, we don't want to take too much meat off the bone because it means we haven't got anything to work with when we have our audio. So we leave it long because we can then change that as the music appears. Okay, in theory, the composure is okay, but I want to make more changes to that. And then lastly, let's take a look at this shot. So what we want to do here would be take away the shake from moving around the room there. And we'd start the clip from where the finger is positioned on the wheel to the press, and then we would delete that because that evidently is not a. So we would go for the press, and then away, and then we probably would cut it at that, which would leave us, if we kept it with this, nice short clip, or what's else? Yeah, we would delete that because that's obviously a miss. Okay, and then we would delete the finger moving away. And then we'd have a clip of some kind. Keyboard and mouse. Tony, just keyboard and mouse. Keyboard. mouse. That's it. Okay. So there's 4 minutes of footage here, and of this, we probably will end up using about 20 seconds of it. That's how much we'll cut. So you can imagine, as you can see here, in fact, let's go to yesterday's project, shall we? This is yesterday. Okay, so I think you're going to hear the audio for this video at the same time. But this will give you an indication of how long it is. So these are the clips from yesterday. Okay, you can see them all here on screen. There's lots of them. And then there's some music here. These are all the clips. And then this was the finished article video. So I'm going to press play. And you'll be able to see it transitioning across. So that gives you an indication when you look here of how many clips it took, how many segments and snippets of footage, and then the video that we got at the end of it. So that was a 2 minute, 5 second video. Of that, 5 seconds of it was the outro at the end, and there'll probably be about 10 seconds of transitions in there as well. So you're looking at about 1 minute and 45 roughly of footage stuck in that. So there's a lot of work that goes into creating a video like that. And I think that's one thing that not necessarily the end user will see, is that there's an awful lot of time, effort and investment in doing things like this. So I'm going to film the rest of my Murico video this morning on my own, because it's difficult to talk to you, to film, and I appreciate it's not the most exciting, is it? Some people have asked to see it and others probably don't care. So I'm going to film the rest of the video on my own just because I can work uninterrupted. But hopefully the hour that you've had here today and the video I've just given you an example of will demonstrate the complexity of filming content like this, and explain just a little bit about how we do it. So you've seen me moving around with the camera and creating the shots. You've seen me do a little bit of dragging the media into Final Cut and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, hopefully this gives you an indication of how much complexity and work goes into content like this. My content is by no means up there with some other content creators, but at the very least you kind of see the process, if you like. So yeah, this is Newman Racing. It's Wednesday today, and that is the job for today, or one of the many jobs for today, is to do a bit of content and filming for the Murico wheel. If you have tuned in at any point today, thank you for watching. Appreciate you being here, of course. Hopefully you've enjoyed or found it interesting a little bit, at least, what it is we've done. If you haven't, we won't do it again. It's a test, hey? It's a test. I hope you have a great day ahead, whatever you get up to. No doubt you will find me again later today on Discord. Otherwise, thank you for watching today. Have a great Wednesday, and we will see you probably later in the week. Take care, guys. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.
Speeding down the track, feel the engine roar, pushing to the max, always wanting more. In the digital zone, where the speed is real, Newman Racing, you can feel the thrill. Newman Racing, taking you to first place. With the need for speed, you will win the race. Profiles to the sky, virtual kings and queens, chasing every dream in those racing machines. On the grid we stand with the crowd cheer, nowhere but the podium and dreams so clear. Newman Racing, taking you to first place. With the need for speed, you will win the race. We stand with the crowds cheer, nowhere but the podium and dreams so clear. Newman Racing.